Hey guys, what's up? It's Dan here at Life Begins at 30, and today we're going through the 1 year review of my hair transplant from Dr Cinik's clinic. So this is one that everyone's been waiting for. What's it like? I'm going to give the full review about what my time was like at Dr Cinik's, why I think that you should go to Dr Cinik's clinic, why I think you shouldn't, why I think you avoid it, why shouldn't you avoid it, who knows. In this video I'm going to talk about everything from the start of the process to the end of the process. I hope you enjoy it. Please subscribe, like and share the video to anyone who you think will benefit from it. So, like the video states, I went to Dr Cinik's clinic in Istanbul, Turkey on the 22nd of October 2019 for a hair transplant. Why did I go? Because a couple of lads in the gym when I was working there were like, do you want to go for a hair transplant, Dan? And I'd never thought about it ever in my life about getting a hair transplant, and I thought, why not? So I did a little bit of research. Should I have done a little bit more research than what I did? Yes, most definitely. I rushed into it, and within 4 weeks I'd already booked Dr Cinik and I was ready to go before any of the lads that actually wanted to go themselves. So yeah, I got a flight over to Istanbul. They picked me up. I went to this nice 3-star hotel, maybe it says 4, I don't think it was 4, maybe 3-star hotel. I took pounds. It cost £1,730, and I just forgot a button shirt. So if you're going to do it, make sure you take a button shirt. If you want more information about what you want to bring or what the process was like, go back to my hair transplant playlist and go to the first video, and I explain it all in there, like a 20-minute video. And then it runs throughout the whole year. Every month I've posted about my hair transplant. So the big thing that for me that I missed out on was the research that I should have really put in before having a hair transplant. I just jumped straight in the deep end. Don't do that. Learn from my mistakes, don't jump into the deep end. Do your research first. For example, the research that I should have done was how bald I actually was to how much hair I needed to get transplanted, whether I needed a second one, what other clinics there were. I just went for maybe the first one that I seen. I did do a little bit of reviews, but then I also did a review video about hair transplant reviews, and I go into more detail about what I found out after my hair transplant and not before. So stuff like that I need to figure out myself. So how long did the process last? It was 8 hours. 4 hours taking it out, 4 hours putting it back in. They give me Xanax on the start, so that there went and knocked me out for the first 4 hours. I didn't go for the painless anaesthetic. I heard that if you go for the painless anaesthetic, it's still painful, and I wanted to save myself €200. So I did that, and it was horrendously painful. I'm not going to lie about that. I absolutely hated it. I was sweating out. I felt like crying. Would I have a second hair transplant? Probably not, because of that pain. So do prepare yourself for a painful local anaesthetic to numb the top of your head. But after that you couldn't feel a single thing, so that was really good. And then you're also able to go on your phone. And one thing that I did notice, if you go back to my first video, you can see a video of the guy who's planting my hair in, and he's not even wearing a mask. That was one thing that I picked up, and I was like, maybe you should be wearing a mask. I mean, this was before Corona times, so masks weren't a necessity back then. However, when you're doing an operation, you'd think that you should be wearing a mask, and one of my friends actually pointed that out. So that was interesting to see. How is my donor area? So I'll do a video now, just going into how my donor area is. When I had a friend who I've been travelling with recently, I asked him if he could see the scars, and he said he couldn't. So that's quite interesting. I tried to go for a skin fade, I said to you on my last video. In Spain it's a lot harder to order a haircut than it is in England. So I don't know if I ordered the right thing, but who knows. Which goes into my next point about haircuts. You've seen me before I had my haircut and how long my hair actually got. My hair maybe got about this long. You know, it was coming at least down to my eyes, but it looked proper rag, and it didn't look very good. So I do think that once you've had a hair transplant, keep your hair quite short and it looks a little bit better. Like mine right now I think looks okay. I mean, I've just been walking around Alhambra in Granada and I've been sweating all day, so I mean, this isn't the washed up clean Dan that you would normally get in a video, because I really haven't got time, because I've got to do this and then also drive down to Malaga, within the next couple of hours. So I'm trying to get this all sorted out. So the biggest question I get asked all the time is, what supplements did I take? Did I take finasteride? Did I take minoxidil? No, I did not take finasteride or minoxidil, and I never have done. I don't know if I will. I might do it as a test, because firstly I've tested a lot of things throughout the last year, shampoos and different tablets. However, now that I can see what I've got now, and the density and the thickness, and whether it'll fall out even more, I was already pretty much bald, so I don't think much more will fall out. However, minoxidil I think thickens it up, and finasteride stops it from falling out. Now, if I try minoxidil and see if it does thicken up a little bit, I can maybe test that in the next 3 months. But of course, that's going to cost me a bit of money, and money that I haven't got while I'm travelling around here. So I'll figure a way to make out the money, and I might test the minoxidil, but I have not touched finasteride or minoxidil at all throughout my whole process. I have taken supplements. I've taken biotin, which I think really helped with the strength of the hair, and it made my nails strong as well, which is crazy, but that's what it does. Vitamins and minerals, so all that's in the links below if you want to grab them. I also had saw palmetto for the first 6 months, and I stopped it. Didn't see much of a difference. Couldn't tell you if I hadn't taken it, it would have been the same. I just took it because it said on the little notes, take this, so I did. And I mean, the results come through eventually. And then fish oil was the last one. So yeah, I took all the supplements, but did they help? No idea. I can't tell you if they've helped or not, because I didn't have a hair transplant and not take them and seen the difference. What I can tell you is minoxidil, finasteride, I haven't taken it and it's still grown through. So whether that's just another way to make a little bit of money, I don't know. I know that the hair transplant clinic wanted me to pay €250 or something like that for those 4 products: the saw palmetto, the vitamins, minerals, the biotin, and the fish oils. So they wanted to pay €250 for that, and I got it all for £58 on Amazon. So my advice is, don't get what they offer you. Maybe the hair shampoo that Dr Cinik provides, maybe getting a bit of extra from that, because that was actually quite good, I thought. I apologise for the sound outside. Someone's going around on a motorbike. I'm in the middle of a parking lot right now. So yes, that's something to take into concept. Don't just go straight for the €250 deal. Get it yourself when you get back at home. Otherwise, you're just going to waste another €250. So I wanted to test the 10-year guarantee out, and I did it. This is why the video is quite late, a couple of days late, is because they text me on the 12th month day, which is the 22nd of February, and they were like, can we have a look at some pictures of your hair and see what it looks like? So I went back to my older pictures where my hair didn't look so good, like maybe month 9, month 8, and I sent those through. And I was like, yeah, it's patchy, it hasn't really worked, what do you think? And these are the pictures that I showed here. And they turned around and, you guessed it, they said, oh, it looks absolutely fine, 90%'s come through. And I was like, that's not absolutely fine at all. But I just wanted to find out whether they would go back with a deal. Maybe I should have went back to like the 6 month point when like none of the hair had come through, and sent them that picture and see what they said, because they took the 9 month pictures, I think, so they've seen that. They have got back in touch with me, because I explained to them, I was like, I don't think the hair's come through properly. What's the chances of taking up the offer of the 10-year guarantee? And they were like, no, the hair's come through, it's 90%. And 90% of the hair has come through, it looks good. And I was like, yeah, I know exactly where this is going. And I've heard from other clinics that this 10-year guarantee is a load of bullshit. So don't think that if your hair turns out not the way it is, you're going to get a free hair transplant. Because then I asked, I was like, well, what can you offer me? And they were like, oh, we'll offer you a discount of the second hair transplant to make it a little bit thicker and to make it, to lower the hairline. Because I said that my hairline was a little bit too high, I think. But it had to be, because I was so bald that if they dropped it a little bit more, there would be no density whatsoever. So I asked them about that question, and they turned around and was like, oh, we can give you a discount on the second hair transplant. We'll give you a 10% discount. So I was like, all right, for £1,900. And I was like, okay, well, my first hair transplant was £1,730, so you've actually increased the price and you give me fuck all discount. And I don't want to speak to you anymore because I know that this 10-year guarantee is a load of bullshit. And then 3 text messages from 3 different people came through, and they were like, oh, we think it's really good, we can offer you this, we can offer you that, we can offer you this, we'll give you free PRP treatment, which you get anyway if you go back to them. These motorbikes are annoying me now. So yeah, so I tested it for you guys, and I figured out that whatever your hair turns out like, they're going to tell you it's good, no matter what. So just be careful on that. Do your research. Don't jump in like I have, okay? Just because you see a video from Dr. Cinik and it's done and it looks really well, normally it's a guy who, you know, has had quite a bit of hair on top anyway, which those hair transplants do look good because they've already got that density anyway, and they're just fixing maybe these patches. Yeah, of course it's going to look good then. Whereas mine was a complete fucking mullet back on top of my head. So yeah, do look into that sort of stuff and do question them on it, especially if it hasn't worked out well. So that's the truth about the 10-year guarantee, and that's just something that I really wanted to try and get out of them, and I wanted to see how much they're going to go back with. If your hair transplant has turned out to be really shoddy, will they be like, oh yeah, we've made a little bit of a mistake there, we'll give you another treatment of like 500 grafts for free? But no, do they fuck? I mean, you buying a cheap hair transplant, that's what you're going to get. If you pay for what you get. If you go to America and spend $35,000 on a hair transplant, I'm sure if it turned out to be patchy, they might, you know, repair it for free. But these are, you know, they're charging quite little for hair transplants. So if you're going to buy a cheap hair transplant, make sure you're aware of that. But the main thing you want to see is the results. So what I've done is I've took pictures of when my hair was wet, when my hair was in different lights, when my hair was dry, how you can see it. I'll even run through a few little videos. When I'm back with Ernst, I'll see if I can get him to run a few videos through my hairline. Ernst is a guy that I'm traveling with at the moment. So I'll do that later on this afternoon or this evening, and then I'll hopefully post a video tomorrow. So yeah, so here you can see the pictures I've already taken. So you can see the hairline you can see is quite high. Again, like I said, my hairline was always quite high when I was younger, so you know, they weren't going to make it super low. I would have maybe brought it down to about here. If I ever have a second hair transplant, which I might do in 10 years time, definitely not going to have one anytime soon because I'm going to travel for the next 5 years. But if I do get a second one, then yes, I will ask them to lower it a little bit and then thicken it up. I only have enough donor grafts for 1 more hair transplant. Some people can have 3, I can only have 2. So yeah, that's one thing that you need to look into, as well as the donor area and how many hair transplants you can actually have. And then I made my hair really wet, so there's a picture there, and you can see that the density is just not there at all when it's wet. It looks a lot better when it's just all dry, and like, you know, it looks a lot thicker now in this light. You can't really see it if I go into different lights, but I've took a few pictures here with different lights. Again, a video here will show you the donor area, and I've been told that I can't really see any scars on my donor area. I haven't actually looked at my donor area in the past 7 months, so I mean, it doesn't bother me anyway, little dotty scars, because my hair's relatively quite long there. I did try, like I said to you on the last video, to get a skin fade, but in Spain, I don't know what skin fade is, and I tried to use a translator, but this is the haircut I got, you know, this is just the way it is. It's pretty hard to get a haircut in Spain when no one speaks English. But again, moving on to the haircuts, you've seen that my hair was really long last time, now it's quite short, and I think shorter hair looks a lot better after a hair transplant of my density. So if you are going to have long hair, you're going to need that density, otherwise it looks a bit shitty, which mine did. But I was just going out to test it to see how long it could grow. And don't look at all these YouTube videos. Like, there's some great guys out there doing these amazing hair transplant videos, There's a lot of guys out there who use the hair dust to make their hair look a lot better than it actually is. They also don't show you the different lights, when it's wet, if it's in the sunlight, if it's not in the sunlight. They don't give you the truth because they're getting some sort of affiliate marketing from the clinic that they went to so they could make a little bit of money. I'm not saying that's everyone, but I've definitely seen a few that do it, and some big ones as well. So do be careful. You know, you can watch my videos, you can watch anyone else's videos all day long, but try and find some honest reviews instead of people trying to sell the hair clinic that they were at. So that leads me on to the final big thing, you know, and it's just the process throughout the whole thing. And I'll put the pictures up now of like different times. So say like 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, moving through like the collage of pictures that I've been collecting throughout the past year. You can see the change from months 4 to 7. I think I've seen the most growth, and then from 7 to 9 it thickened up, and then from 9 to 12 I haven't really seen much. If anything, I've seen it less dense, like hair has been falling out. So that's something to look into. Now, when I messaged the clinic about that, they said it's a seasonal change because we're going into the winter, that your hair might be falling out because of that. And I was like, brilliant. This would be all good if I was in England where it's like 10 degrees, not in the south of Spain where it's 25, and I'm still pretty much in the summer period. So there's no seasonal change here. So I don't know what was going on there, but my hair was definitely falling out, and there's little bits. Well, I can do this now, and one will fall out, you know. So that's another thing to think about. Is, I suppose it leads into the final question is, do I recommend the Dr Cinik clinic? And I can only give you the pros and the cons. I won't give you a summary because I can't summarize for you. You have to make that decision yourself. You can see the hair transplant has worked. So yeah, I would recommend it for that. For that point there, yes, I recommend Dr Cinik's clinic. You know, the hair's been implanted, the hair stayed in, and yes, I have hair on top of my head compared to when I didn't have hair on top of my head. Now, the reasons why I would look at somewhere else, the communication is very poor. I had to really force myself to get any sort of communication after month 3. They decided to never message me and ask me. Now, I understand they've probably got 8,000 clients and they can't message 8,000 clients. But don't start for the first 3 months and say, can we have a look at your hair? Can we have a look at your hair? And be really keen, and then it just goes. Like that's it. And then it was me forcing myself to message them, and then I'm not going to post them, but you can. Every message that I sent, I was putting question marks, watching them read the message, and then just ignoring it. And it'd like be 4 or 5 days. And a few people commented on a video a couple of months ago saying that they had the exact same thing. You know, they wouldn't hear from the clinic for months. This seems to be the only time that you ever get them to really be communicative, is that even a word? Is when you threaten them or something. So, for example, when I told them then about the hair transplant, about it not working, and them trying to offer me a discounted price, and I was like, it's okay. I'm so glad that I didn't write a review for you guys when you told me to do it right at the start. I can now write a truthful one. Boom, 3 people would message me like trying to stop me from writing a review. So don't believe all the reviews. You know, do your research, look into different clinics. Don't believe the 10-year guarantee. I think it's a load of bullshit. But for the price, I think it's all right. You know, for the price that I paid, 1,700. I've heard that the price has gone up now, so it might be a little bit more. But there are other hair transplant clinics in Istanbul, and I've heard of ones where you pay 3,000 and it's one guy doing it, 1 hair transplant a day, instead of 15 technicians doing 15 hair transplants a day. So you've got the factories and then you've got the single guys. So the guy who I'm traveling with is planning on getting a hair transplant at the end of November. He's going to a doctor that only does one a day, but he's paying €3,200, so it's nearly double what I paid. But maybe it'll be a better result than what mine actually was. Another thing is the way that the hair's planted in. Okay, it plants in so it goes up. So if you've got a high hairline like me, you know, it's not going to come down. I've got to make it come down like this. It just naturally goes up itself. So that's another thing you want to think about. So yeah, I would and I wouldn't recommend Dr. Cinik. That is your choice. If you can get over the little implications that has happened with me and you don't mind that sort of stuff, then go for it. If you really want a 5-star hair transplant clinic, then pay more. It might be worth it for you if you've got the money. I didn't even think about getting a hair transplant, so I just looked for the cheap one, There are even cheaper ones out there. I've heard of ones of 1,300. Again, I spoke about it in my videos recently about the hair transplant Facebook groups, which are really, really good, and they've got loads of good people in there who are posting their results and where they've gone and how their process was. So get yourself in there. So it's Hair Loss Conquerors, which I think is the better one, than Hair Loss Crusaders, but that one's run by Quad Medical, I can't remember what they're called, and they are very biased on what they post. They won't let anyone post anything that's nothing to do with their clinics. So Hair Loss Conquerors for me is the better one. So get yourself on that Facebook group and ask questions and ask clinics and ask for results and all that jazz, and then do your own research. I've tried to go through absolutely everything there. In the small space of time that I've got, I haven't got a lot of time at the moment. I'm quite busy. However, if there's anything that I've missed in this video, please do comment below and I'll do my best to get back in touch with you or answer your questions. Please do watch the video. If you haven't watched the end of this video now, then so be it. I don't really care, okay? But if you're just going to ask me the question, for example, I always get, did you use finasteride or minoxidil? And I answered that right at the start of this video. I'm not going to answer. I'm just going to ignore it because there's no point in me doing that every time. I do this for free. I don't get paid for doing any of this, and I do it just to help other people out. So do me a favour. Anything I've missed out, please do ask, and then I will do my best to answer the questions below. And if you're watching this and you're trying to compare because you're at the same level as me, or you've been to the clinic yourself, do comment below for other people, because other people who are always going to be watching these videos look through the comments and just be like, yes, I've had this, and then either give your complications or why you think it's the best clinic in the world and all that good jazz. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I will continue to post until 18 months after my hair transplant because that is supposed to be the end all. However, I don't think it's going to get any better than this personally. So I will do monthly updates around about this time every month for the next 6 months. I will do my best. If you got any sort of videos that you want me to do, then put them in the comments below. If not, enjoy my van life videos and travel videos, which are going to be happening for the next 5 years of my travelling life and whatever the hell I do, because this coronavirus is fucking everything up. So yeah, thanks again. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you soon.